everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of ClueCon Weekly. Joining us this week is none other than, well, I would say the founding father of the show, David Duffett. And, well, glad to see you, David, first of all.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you too, Luca. It seems like at least a few months since we were face-to-face, but it's good to see you there.
Yeah, David has been a public speaker for more than 20 years, teacher in many towns in the world, founder of Geek Speak, and go see one of his talk is really interesting and really helped me too with public speaking and all the things that are around being a technical speaker, a technical person trying to speak to a public, which is not the easiest thing. You've also always been the longest worldwide community director for the Asterisk project, right?
Yeah, indeed. In fact, that's how I came to my first ClueCon, because I felt there was need for more harmony and more togetherness in the world of open source comms. And so I was just looking it up ahead of the show, and it was 2015 when I first came along to ClueCon at the Intercontinental Hotel on the Golden Mile there. And I seem to remember winning a dangerous demo prize because I did a little demo of Asterisk running on a Raspberry Pi powered by a free switch battery pack. And so I brought the two projects together.
Yeah, I was there too. I mean, it's I think, the coincidence might be that was my first ClueCon too.
Oh,
it's really interesting. Yeah. And well, you've been an MC for ClueCon. You've done a lot for Free Switch project and open source in general. And again, welcome. And well, but one day you'll have to tell us all about the history of ClueCon Weekly. But now today, the main course is going to be about ClueCon itself, which you'll be emceeing again, right?
Yeah, I'm really delighted and privileged to be emceeing ClueCon again. I think it's I know whether it's third, fourth, fifth, because of course we had all the shenanigans of the online versions and the lockdowns and all that sort of stuff a few years back. But yeah, I'm really delighted to do it because ClueCon for me has always been a really excellent open source event, but almost like a family event as well, because you meet all of your friends and family in the open source community. And that means everybody from the young cousins to the weird uncles. They're all there at ClueCon.
Oh, yeah. We have our share of weird uncles in the community. That's, I'll be honest, but it's fun. I'm probably one of them. I'm a little bit on the older side compared to the participants that you see now. So it's I'm probably starting to age into the older uncle crowd.
Yeah, I would say special Uncle Luca rather than weird uncle, but the special uncle from Italy who's in there. Yeah, and this year's event is something really to look forward to. We're back at the Drake Hotel in Chicago, as we were last year, and it's the 12th through the 16th of August, and it's a bit of a packed program. I should say ahead of getting into any details that although the call for speakers is closed and we're sorting through the large crop of submissions that there's been, I can tell you that sponsorships are still available. So if you want to jump in and get in touch for a sponsorship, then that is possible. And the link to do that is going to be included with this video.
Yeah, it's always a great conference. This year is going to be the 20th anniversary. What events are planned?
There's all sorts going on, isn't there? Actually, I said 12th to 16th, but it might be the 12th to the 15th. Anyway, we'll run through. Monday is the 12th. And that is always the Coder Games Challenge, the hackathon, and all the kind of activities day. And you'll know better than I do, Luca, that there's something for everybody on that day, even if you're not a coder. So there's definitely coding challenge. There's even a special signal wire challenge. But if you're not a coder, there's a maker challenge too. So there's genuinely something for everybody. And all three of those sections have specific prizes that go with them as well. And so I know people love getting in there on the Monday and doing all sorts of things. Can you remember any of your favorite bits from the Monday?
Well, I'm always involved in the Signal Wire Challenge now. Before that, it was the Coder Games, but generally the Signal Wire Challenge. There's been a lot. Last year, we had a lot of interesting entries around building the worst possible IVR using either AI or standard IVRs. And what was very frightening was the fact that the winner and most of the runner-ups were very frighteningly close to real-life applications. Like it's the worst IVRs didn't have to try too much; just had to go find a real-life example and make it a little bit worse, which is sort of scary. Like people, there's a lot of work to do in the UX department in voice applications.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a thin line there between the best and the worst. And I know Alison, the voice of Asterisk, the voice of Free Switch, the voice of many open source projects and all sorts of other things. She does a great talk about IVRs and IVR structure. And I remember one of the ones that she talked about was, I think it was for some kind of healthcare center, and it had like 6 or 7 options. You know, press 1 if you need this, press 2, and then 8 was if you've got an emergency. You know, that was a badly constructed example.
So you're dead by the time you get to number 8. Yeah. And I remember one time we mapped out an IVR for a large telephony company and realized all of the options went to the same place eventually. Like we just tried every single option at every branch, and turned out they all went to the same place, which meant because they had a new chatbot deployed that was actually answering all of those questions. So all they had to do is patch you through the chatbot directly instead of having you go through press 1 if you're looking to check your subscription, press 2 if you run out of credit. It didn't do anything. It was weird. It was only online for like 6 months, but that was really interesting. So yeah, there's all sorts of. So come learn how to build better IVRs amongst other things.
Yes, that's a very worthy objective for sure. And of course, SignalWire is making great waves in terms of using AI and bots in this department. So, you know, rather than good old-fashioned press 1 for this, we can go towards more language recognition models, which is great. So, Luke, I'm just looking at the details here. And so we've got the Maker Challenge, the Coder Games, the SignalWire Challenge, all on the 12th. Yes. And then for the remaining 3 days, the 13th, 14th, and 15th, it's all conference with all sorts of amazing sessions. And if people have ever been to ClueCon, they will know what to expect. There's a great mix. But if you haven't, Luca and I can spend a little bit of time telling you the kind of talks that you have. And it goes everything from hardcore technical stuff where people are throwing up lines of code and lines of dial plan and telling you about the parameters that they're using and all that kind of stuff, all the way through to, I remember last time there was an excellently received talk by a guy called Arthur Dola on burnout in the tech community. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, definitely. I do, absolutely do. And I'll be honest, that talk really stuck with me. I still have notes, and I sometimes reference it to think, oh, well, maybe someone needs some help or needs some respite, and it was really, really helpful. So looking forward to more talks like that amongst the technical stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a great combination. Arthur's talk really resonated, and you're far from the only person to say that it kind of struck a chord with them. We saw lots of other ones. Another one I particularly remember from last time, and was it Christian Kleinhofer? I'm just remembering the name. Did he do the talk about the little kind of Alexa type device that was not Alexa? You know, some a little device that you could use and kind of strike it up with your voice.
The open source device, yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Was it Willow or Owl or something like that? I forget the name of it, but it was an interesting one. He did it.
You're right. Yeah, there was a. I'll go look it up. It was. I think the most interesting thing was it's based on the ESP32 chipset, and it was really cheap to get one. Like the whole thing with the display and speaker is $30. So you can.
That's right. He had a couple of samples in the room, didn't he? Which were a bit like bringing a sort of a puppy to a children's party. Now everybody wanted to get hold of those and have a look at them. So yeah, there was lots of different talks, and although the speakers have not been totally decided yet for this year's ClueCon, I have been told that since I'm going to be there emceeing anyway, I will get to do my talk that I submitted, which I'm looking forward to, which is called G2NG, meaning Geek to Non-Geek Communications Masterclass. And so it will be about the art of us technical people conveying our messages to less technical people in a convincing and engaging way. And so we try to bring that to help the ClueCon audience on their way, not inside ClueCon, because ClueCon is a bit of a geek to geek environment. But when you get outside of ClueCon and you're back to work, back in the real world, it's good to be able to kind of state your case and get your points across in a less technical, people-friendly way, I would say. Well, can you think of any other highlights, Luca, that you're expecting this year or reflecting from last year?
Well, my favorite part, as I said, so the most important thing for me is always the large open source projects presenting the latest versions. There's always one big release. It's Camellia, OpenSIPs, FreeSwitch itself. And it's always useful because otherwise I do lose track of things, and it's important to know what's going on. But more importantly, my always favorite part is dangerous demos, which you know all very well. And I promise this year I'm going to try and build a dangerous demo. I haven't done that in a while now. It's been years. And I really miss it. It's busy days, and I'm always busy with customers, talking to people. But it's I think dangerous demos more than anything else embodies the open source telephony community spirit. Like things can break, will break, and probably are broken already.
Yeah, absolutely. You're quite right, and you just reminded me of a time when I was putting together another dangerous demo on a Raspberry Pi. And having trouble. This was actually an Astricon, and I was having trouble getting it connected to the Wi-Fi. And Tony came and helped me because Tony was there. He was presenting about FreeSwitch at Astricon, and there he was helping me get this Asterisk dangerous demo up and running. And I thought, this is community. So yeah, you're quite right. The dangerous demos bring everybody together and give people an example to, an opportunity to demonstrate examples of the various strange things that they get up to. We've had all sorts of fax implementations and people doing all sorts of AI stuff. And I remember, now the bow tie man, I've lost his name. Can you, Evan, that's right.
Yeah.
I knew I could get it in a minute. Evan doing an amazing demo where I think he was shouting at a light bulb. And when he said certain words that might have included cuss words, it came on. That was a particularly interesting dangerous demo. We've had drones as dangerous demos, and of course the very famous Len Graham dangerous demo, where he had FreeSwitch on a Raspberry Pi inside a ball of bubble wrap that got not only thrown around, but I think it got drop kicked across the room by Andy Abrahamson. While it was actually while the code was compiling on the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, that was great. I remember, I don't know, maybe you've seen that. There's a story about something, there's a crash and burn prize for which is the most spectacular failure. I hear in one occasion there was smoke involved, so someone almost got something to burn, but I didn't witness that. I'm trying to find out. I've been asking everybody who's been involved with ClueCon if they remember whose demo was actually smoking, but I might just have to try and build something that will do it.
Yeah, indeed. And usually, of course, the burning is figurative and not literal. But, but there's a bit of that. And we should remind people of the other prizes as well. There's the Swan Prize. That's the thing that sort of looks a bit effortless, but really there are lots of moving parts doing all the work underneath that we don't see. There's most entertaining, I think. And then there's the audience vote. And you'll remember, Luca, that the audience vote is often characterized by a number of people trying to hack the audience voting mechanism to swing it in the favor of one person or another person's entry.
I remember a few occasions of that, including a couple was successful, to be fair. Like there was at this point, I'm not saying it's against the rules. I'm sort of considering it as part of the event. Like if you manage to hack the voting system, on the other hand, if you're putting something out there that is software and is not well tested and has bugs and security bugs at a conference like ClueCon, well, it's. I always remember getting scans. Like I was running something quick. I was setting up Raspberry Pi. Can use it as a little Wi-Fi hotspot. Yeah. I was using it to run a limited sort of local network to demonstrate something, and I was keeping getting scans. Like not only one computer. There were like 4 or 5 computers running security scans full time on that network at all time. It's just, it is what it is. It's just
Yeah, crazy
it's
time.
just,
Yeah, I think just one more thing before we move off dangerous demos was another famous occasion at ClueCon where somebody had hacked James Bodie's hotel room card. And I think it was Simon Woodhead who was on stage. No, it wasn't. I tell a lie. It was James Bodie on stage, and Simon Woodhead was doing the dangerous demo using video. And James was very surprised to see his hotel room on the big screen. Cloned his card and managed to get into his hotel room, which was maybe not so much a telecoms challenge, but a bit of fun anyway.
Well, still, telcos are blending into all the wireless and RFID aspects these days, so I think it counts.
Yeah, indeed. So we've talked about the dangerous demos. We've talked about the multiplicity and variety there are of regular conference sessions, from non-tech stuff like burnout in the tech world and communicating with non-geeks, all the way through to hardcore free switch implementations and people's tutorials and use cases. But of course, we haven't mentioned the excitement of the evening events, have we? And the welcome night is usually at Giordano's, and I think that this year will be no exception.
It will, yes. Welcome dinner is going to be at Giordano's. It's an interesting experience for all the Italians involved every time, but we gotten used to it, and some of it is not too bad, so it's fine.
Yeah. Indeed, and there's not only that, but of course on the other nights, one of them will be in the Signal Wire Lounge at the Drake, a special sort of gathering place where the gigabit reception is held. Everybody looks forward to that because there's a chance to chill out and relax with drinks and food and hang out with the core free switch team and other members of the open source community. And then there's the poker night as well. And the hardcore poker players and fierce gamblers get to participate on that evening, don't they?
And Phil Gordon is going to host the poker tournament again. Actually, I didn't know he was the owner of a customer of SignalWire, but turns out he is, and he's of course a very good poker player. So it's been great meeting him. I would say Phil Gordon ranks amongst the most famous people I've met in person after seeing them on television for so long. So it is pretty cool. I never get far. I like playing poker, but I don't know why the poker tournament at ClueCon brings out the worst of me. So I'm just doubling up every time, and it doesn't work when you're playing in a casual setting. It is really fun.
Yeah, so I mean, it really is no exaggeration to say that there's something for everybody at ClueCon. I know people love to collect the swag as well because there's all kinds of goodies. And ClueCon is, I think, one of the only conferences I've come across where instead of being handed your little bag of goodies when you come along, there's a table where you can go and collect all of the goodies. And there are a lot of goodies, aren't there? Everything from battery packs and hand sanitizers all the way through to gadget cases and all sorts of stuff.
Last year I got a backpack and a couple bag tags, which I still use. The bag tags are very cool. And sometime a few years ago, I got a calculator that I still have. The fun part is that so it's a Friswitch branded calculator, and turns out nobody else has one. So we've been trying to figure out where that came from. It might not have been swag. I might just have stolen it from Tony. Nobody else has one. So.
And I just brought along, just found this because I use this all the time. It's the ClueCon 2021 gadget case for all of your VGA adapters and MacBook accessories and all that kind of stuff. You can see.
I didn't get one of those. I think so. 2021 is the one I attended remotely, so I didn't get one.
Boy.
Maybe there's one left somewhere.
I hope I haven't caused any swag envy there, Luca.
Well, just a little bit, but I do have the unique Friswitch calculator still. So
you certainly do. I haven't got one of those. Now, we should tell people that they can still get their ClueCon tickets if they've not registered already, but it will close that opportunity on July the 15th. So make sure you're registered by then. We're looking forward to seeing you all. And I think one of the most special parts of it, and you already mentioned this, Luca, is the fact that all the open source community comes together. So we've got representation from OpenSIPs, from Kama-Ilio. In the past, we've had representation from Asterisk, and I'm just going to say this out loud. We would love to have representation from Asterisk again, but sadly it's been lacking the last 2 or 3 years. And so this is a little appeal. If there's anybody from Sangoma watching, then, you know, we'd love you to have you participate, because ClueCon is a very open source conference. What do you reckon on that, Luca?
Yeah, I think that's that will be great. I mean, Asterisk has been a project that has gone through some interesting times, so to say, but it's still going strong, and it's got presence in so many companies and enterprises that I would really love to publicly invite anyone from the Asterisk community to join us and just come say hello, come see what's going on. We're super happy to hear what the project's doing, and I mean, even if we can help somehow, it's after all, Friswitch did come out of Tony being an Asterisk contributor, then not being, then deciding to do a different thing because he wanted the platform to be able to do different features, but still. And I don't know, I'll be honest, after it's been a couple of years since I've actually worked with Asterisk directly, and I will be super happy to hear from someone from that side. So yes, please.
Yeah, that would be great. And of course, as you mentioned, the FreeSwitch team will be very well represented, and people do love to hang out with the core developers there. And of course, not only Tony, but Brian West, Mike Jerris, they're all there. Chris, I've forgotten Chris Rienzo.
Yeah.
You know, all of these people are going to be on hand for FreeSwitch groupies to hang out with, and maybe get them into a little corner and ask their technical questions too as well.
Yep. Come ask about your favorite bugs directly in person.
Yes. So just to reiterate, the Maker Challenge, the Coder Games, the Hackathon, all of that on the Monday. You can participate either as an individual or form little groups and enter that way. And as I said, there's prizes in all 3 of those categories. So lots to prepare for there. If you want all of the details, you need to go to ClueCon.com. That's where you can find your way of getting your ticket if you've not done already, and you can find details. And when the speaker selection has been made, you'll have more details of the speakers coming as well. But I think we can genuinely say, Luca, 4 days of open source goodness in Chicago this August.
Oh, absolutely, yes. It's going to be very fun, and some of the team are going to be around earlier or later. I'll be around for a couple of days more because we're leaving on Saturday. So if there's anybody who would like to have a meeting, talk about something product wise or whatever you fancy, I'll still be around, as some of the team will, and we're always available during the conference too. So unless we're on stage, and even if we are on stage, just ask questions. Even better, if you ask questions while we're on stage, we'll like it more.
Yeah, a bit of participation. And of course, the big news is that this is the 20th ClueCon. So ClueCon's officially been going 20 years. That's massive, isn't it?
Still can't drink in the US, but it's a it's a very important anniversary. Yes, it's and it's to all the people in the industry, myself included. I've been in the industry. I joined relatively late because I've been in the industry since 2008ish. Before that, I was doing classic enterprise consultancies, and it's always been there. Like ClueCon is like the sun or weather, like it's just always been there. It's so it's great to be involved. It's great to be able to help people, to hear fantastic talks, and just to get together and have fun, which is something that I think it's, if you let me be a boomer for a second, I feel like meeting in person has been a little bit going away last few years, and it's no, it's led to some good things. It's led to, you know, saving money, saving the environment, whatever. But some of the magic got sort of diminished. And I
Yeah,
think you agree with that.
yeah, I totally agree with it. You know, in person, it can't really be beaten. You know, just the interactions that happen. It's in an online environment. Yeah, you can have little breakout rooms and things like that, but it feels a little bit forced. Whereas in the world of ClueCon, everybody's face to face. It's a single track conference, so we don't split people up into different places. And what that means is there's always something going on for everybody in the main conference room. But if it's a particular talk that may be less appropriate for you, you do find a lot of people buzzing around in the lobby outside and having business meetings or talking technical about bugs and fixes. And
Or
stuff
finishing your slides, finishing your slides for the next talk that's in 10 minutes. Not that it ever happened to me ever, but
yes,
I know some people do it.
A little bit last minute. On that very subject, Luca, I'd love to come back at some stage and do another ClueCon weekly about my Let the Geek Speak activities.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that I would love to do that. But for now, I think we should finish up by just doing a summary of this coming ClueCon. So here are all the essential facts. 12th to the 15th of August at the Drake Hotel in Chicago. It's the 20th ClueCon, and I know we always have a show of hands of how many ClueCons people have been to at the beginning, and so there's lots of people that have been to all sorts of ClueCons. Luca and I, it turns out, have just been going since 2015, so this will be our 8th or 9th or something along those lines. Welcome night at Giordano's, the pizza place, and then there's the Gigabit reception as one of the evening activities. There's the poker night with Phil Gordon, and along with that, the range of conference sessions, and something for everybody, really.
Yeah, I think you've said it all perfectly. One thing I want to add is if you're using the ClueCon code to book the hotel through the ClueCon website, you need to book your rooms by July 15th. There's time, but remember to do that to get the ClueCon rate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very important indeed. Okay.
Yeah, it is. And well, David, thank you so much for joining us today. Looking forward to seeing you in person in August. It's been a while, as you said, but it's my fault. I haven't been traveling that much, and I want to get back to that. And what's better than ClueCon to meet again and have fun?
Exactly. I'm really looking forward to it too. And don't forget that all of the details can be found in links with this video as well. So there's no excuse. You need to treat yourself. Come along to ClueCon and hang out with the open source community in Chicago.
So David Duffett, founder of Let the Geek Speak and many open source community, everything. You've been everything at some point. So thank you for joining us today and telling us all about ClueCon. And well, see you in August and see you in the next ClueCon Weekly where we talk about your own company and activities.
Thanks very much, Luca. All the best. Cheers.
And to the rest of the people, I'll see you next week. Goodbye.
And along with that, the range of conference sessions, and something for everybody, really.
Yeah, I think you've said it all perfectly. One thing I want to add is if you're using the ClueCon code to book the hotel through the ClueCon website, you need to book your rooms by July 15th. There's time, but remember to do that to get the ClueCon rate.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very important indeed. Okay.
Yeah, it is. And well, David, thank you so much for joining us today. Looking forward to seeing you in person in August. It's been a while, as you said, but it's my fault. I haven't been traveling that much, and I want to get back to that. And what's better than ClueCon to meet again and have fun?
Exactly. I'm really looking forward to it too. And don't forget that all of the details can be found in links with this video as well. So there's no excuse. You need to treat yourself. Come along to ClueCon and hang out with the open source community in Chicago.
So David Duffett, founder of Let the Geek Speak and many open source community, everything. You've been everything at some point. So thank you for joining us today and telling us all about ClueCon. And well, see you in August and see you in the next ClueCon Weekly where we talk about your own company and activities.
Thanks very much, Luca. All the best. Cheers.
And to the rest of the people, I'll see you next week. Goodbye.